Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So Manchester United have drawn in Spain tonight. Our record against Spanish teams continues. I think before today we had only won 30% of the games we had played against Spanish sides, and today the run continued. United still looking for a win, but it's a draw where I feel hard done by. And I didn't really expect that from Manchester United today. I didn't expect us to get a draw. I did expect us to lose the game. And I thought, you know, taking a draw back to Old Trafford, quite good. But on the basis of the game itself and the way that Sociedad scored with their first shot on target from a penalty, that, look, it's hit Bruno's hand. But if the referee doesn't give it, should VAR be intervening? I don't know if... I don't know, look, maybe it was the right decision and maybe I'm moaning for no reason, but it did feel like a weird time for VAR to intervene, especially when hardly anyone really appealed for it and it was really innocuous handball. But look, it was a hand. His hand was in an unnatural position, Bruno Fernandes. It did hit his hand, and it didn't... Initially, I thought he had come off the defender's head and then hit his hand, and for that you can't give a penalty, but it didn't even do that. So look, maybe I'm kind of talking to myself into it being a penalty, which maybe VAR shouldn't have intervened with. But look, ultimately I thought we were the better side today, probably should have won. And if we had taken all of our chances and, you know, really put them to the sword, we would have won out there today. There was a few positions we got into where we just wasted them. One of them that sticks in my mind in the first half, Diogo Dalot is down the right hand side. Rasmus Højlund's leading his defender. He's onside as well, is behind or level with Diogo Dalot, and he just never plays the pass across the box. And look, I have a lot of criticism for Rasmus Højlund. I think today he did okay, but very rarely threatened a goal. But then you think about positions like that where we're not finding the pass and we're not putting him through on goal when the chance presents itself. You do feel a little bit sorry for him. Again, he has to do more. You know, he has to, like you see sometimes, Garnacho will get into positions on the edge of the box, touch it to the left, have a shot. You know, you want to see more of that from Rasmus Højlund, because we have seen him score goals from that position, but it does seem a little bit scared to shoot at times. And as a striker, you have to let go of that fear. You have to just empty the clip. And unfortunately, Rasmus Højlund hasn't been doing that, but we can help him out a little bit sometimes. Play the right passes in and, you know, play him in. And I think you stick that across the goal there, he scores. Now, maybe he doesn't, but you have to make that pass. And it's seemingly like some of our players just kind of, oh, he's not going to score anyway, so let's look elsewhere. And I think that's a bad attitude to have, man. It's a bad attitude to have. Our striker's going through a difficult time. Play him in. Get him a goal so we can get some confidence. And we just didn't do it. It was a real poor decision from Diogo Dalot. And then we had a few other positions where Garnacho gets in wide, about 6, 7, 8 yards out, and his shot hits the side netting. There was a chance in the first half where Bruno's had one off the line, and then Xerxes had one saved, and then one just wide. Like, we had the chances out there today, but unfortunately didn't take them. And some frustrating moments where you think the pass or a little bit of confidence and Manchester United score. But look, I started this video off saying I wasn't expecting us to go out there and win today, so I'm happy with the draw. But when you look at the 90 minutes, you know, we had to do a little bit more. We had to be better, and we had to take our chances, and we didn't. Now, if Sociedad come to Old Trafford and they perform better, and they'll have Zubamendi back, I imagine, and we go out, then we'll only have ourselves to blame, because, you know, taking a 1-1 draw to Old Trafford should be leaving us in the position where we should be going on to win that game. But the way we're playing at the moment, like, you know, it would have been a good place. Go there, win 1-0. And I think we played a 1-0 win today. Go there, win 1-0. You build a little bit of confidence for the rest of the tournament. But look, it wasn't the end of the world. It wasn't a bad performance. I thought Onana was okay. There weren't too many shocking moments from him, although there was one moment where he did something great and then booted the ball out of play straight for a throw-in, and you're like, here's Onana again. But look, I don't think he was particularly bad today. I thought the back line did well. De Ligt, by the way, not enough's being made about how good Matthijs de Ligt has been for Manchester United. He's looking like a future captain for the club. There was even a moment where he slipped and still managed to get his foot up in the air to clear the ball. He's immense. He leads from the back. You can tell he loves playing for Manchester United. He understands the challenge of playing for a club this size as well. And he really wants to be successful here. And so far, I know because we're 14th in the league and everything's going wrong, people aren't kind of looking at some of the signings we have made and looking at them positively. But I think De Ligt, Lenny Yoro, Mazraoui, been very, very good signings for Manchester United, and I thought they were very good again today. Casemiro, who was a little bit worried about starting, I thought he played well in there. Bruno Fernandes, mixed game for him. A few times where he probably could have played a better pass in for some of his teammates. There was one where it was really unlike him, where he kind of overhits an easy Bruno Fernandes pass to Paddy Dorgu, and it goes out for a throw, and you're like, you're better than this, Bruno. And then you obviously have his frustrations compounded by the fact that he's the one that gives away the penalty. But look, Bruno Fernandes, I don't think he was particularly bad. I just don't think he was at his best. Casemiro, like I said, I think did well. Paddy Dorgu, I'm looking here at this team sheet I've got in front of me on flash scores, and they've got Dorgu having a lower rating than everyone bar Fernandes, Onana and Højlund. And I think that's strange, because again, you watched the game and I thought Paddy Dorgu made the right runs at the right time, was a constant threat down that left-hand side, always getting into the right positions, trying to get crosses into the box as well, had a few shooting opportunities. I thought it was a very good performance from Paddy Dorgu. Again, another one of our signings that I think is looking okay so far. And when you talk about frustration with Manchester United's transfers, a lot of them came before last summer. Last summer, I don't think they were actually that bad. Now, in terms of being signings and players that maybe the manager wants, okay, I'm happy to have that conversation. But I thought our signings that we made, Dorgu in January, the players that we signed in the summer, I think they can be a part of a future Manchester United squad and should, definitely be sticking around for next season. Diogo Dalot, again, I thought he had a good game, but there were moments where you've got to get those passes in, you've got to get those crosses in, you've got to do a little bit more. And I can understand if Diogo Dalot is suffering from fatigue. He's played a lot of football, he continues to play a lot of football, but you've got to get those passes right. Joshua Zirkzee, fantastic goal from him. His weight of pass is so good. Some of the tricks and flicks were out today. But the tricks and flicks don't come out just because he wants to do tricks and flicks. They'll be with an intention behind them. They'll be with a reason behind them. There was a little flick he played through to Paddy Dorgu. Paddy Dorgu gets in a position inside the box to get a cross or a shot in. I think Joshua Zirkzee is fantastic, man. And today there were times where, because Rasmus Højlund was battling with the defenders and keeping them pinned back, he had a little bit more space in between the defence and the midfield to kind of manipulate and play his passes and stuff. I love Joshua Zirkzee, absolutely love him, and it was nice to see him get a goal today, which is needed because he hasn't scored in a while. And Garnacho, again, like everything but the end product, he really has to work on getting the end product right. Every time he gets subbed as well, he looks like he's a striker on 2 goals, ready to get a hat-trick, and there's half an hour to go. Like, he always seems surprised to get subbed. Look, he obviously puts a lot of work in. I'm not surprised when he does get subbed, but when you're getting yourself into these positions, you've got to do better, Alejandro. I'm a big fan of Garnacho. Look, I'm not one of those that's kind of given up on him. And I was one of those that wanted him to stay at Manchester United when we were linked with selling him in January. You got to stick by him, and I think he will come good, but he's going through it at the moment, and you just need to do the simple things better, and then the rest will follow, man. And there's times, again, like the low earlier, play the right pass at the right time, when to shoot, when not to shoot. And look, we've seen better young players. I've seen Ronaldo and Rooney come through, and they kind of had those frustrating moments as well, and they are the elite. Do you know what I mean? And Garnacho will have to go a long way to even reaching those levels, but they were frustrating earlier on in their career as well with some of the decisions they'd make. You've got to, the penny's got to drop at some point. You've got to start playing those right passes, and you've got to start making it easier for your teammates, because at times he's not doing that, and you wonder why Højlund's not getting goals. Look, I think he could do things for himself, which makes it easier, but also his teammates need to help him out a little bit, like we've seen at various points today. But look, overall, decent performance, decent result. Both could have been better, yes. Maybe we should have had more goals, but we take them back to Old Trafford, where we know the job's simple. Beat them and we're through. Draw, we go through to extra time and penalties. Now I think Sociedad will be better, so we have to be better, and hopefully we can get a few of our injured players back. Maybe Manuel Ugarte will be available, Kobbie Mainoo maybe. We can get some of those guys back in the squad. Obviously Chido Obi's not going to be able to be involved. Harry Maguire should hopefully be back. So bringing these players back will obviously be good for Manchester United, and hopefully we can do something. But also they'll have Zubimendi back, and he's a good player, very, very good player. He's been linked with some of the Premier League big boys, so he could make a difference for them. But overall, good day in Spain for United. Not a bad result to take back to Old Trafford, and there's some signs there, but it could have been better. It could have and should have been better. But Joshua Zirkzee scored. Yes. Guys, I'm telling you, get on the Joshua Zirkzee bandwagon right now before it's too late, because we are moving, and we're moving quick, and that boy might just go and win us the Europa League. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you keep it up, like, comment, share, subscribe. I'll be back very, very soon. See you in a bit.